Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to Beer Geek Nation. I'm your host, Chris. Thank you so much for joining me once again for another beer review. We're looking at another beer out of the Karl Strauss Coastal Reserve series, which has been a hit in my book. Just great beers coming out of that series. This one just came out in August. This is their Boardwalk Black Rye. It's an 8% alcohol by volume, basically a black ale hopped like a West Coast IPA. Like I said before, this is part of their Coastal Reserve series, which are a bigger beer release, kind of a limited seasonal release for them, and they've all been really great stuff. So if you're on the West Coast, you can get this. Us East Coast guys aren't able to, so definitely trade for it if you want to try it. But with all that said, let me get into a glass so you guys know it smells, tastes, and give you the verdict on the Karl Strauss Boardwalk Black Rye. All right, guys, so the appearance on the Boardwalk Black Rye. Well, it pours a lot like a porter. There was a dark brown, kind of dark caramel pour on this one. In the glass, it looks pretty black. I don't see much light through it, where I do see light through this one. I'm getting a dark red, a ruby red, a kind of a blood red. There was a nice finger to a finger and a half worth of a off-white, slightly khaki head. Bigger bubbles on this one. The carbonation is nice coming off the side of the glass. Decent amount of lacing. There is some alcohol legs in this though. Wow, actually for 8%, there's actually a decent amount of alcohol feed on this one. Overall, it reminds me a lot of like a porter or a stout as far as the beer look goes. All right, the aroma on the Boardwalk Black Rye. Yeah, no mistaking, this is a West Coast IPA. Big citrus notes, piney notes. There's like a lemon peel, grapefruit flavor. At the same time, I'm also getting a sweetness, like a hop sweetness in there. I'm getting the roasted characters from the black part of this beer. There's a dark chocolate, kind of espresso smell coming through. Very light, and it blends nicely with the kind of the citrus of the hops. I'm getting a slight spiciness that's probably from the rye. Yeah, it's a really kind of interesting smelling beer. A lot going on this one. All right, guys, so the taste on the Boardwalk Black Rye. Cheers. Wow, no mistaking this one. Definitely a West Coast beer. Front of the tongue, big grapefruit, big pininess, big citrus. Just huge hop bitterness right at the front of the tongue. Middle of the mouth is where the stout qualities or the porter qualities kind of taste over. There's a nice roasted character. You get that black chocolate bitterness. You're getting a coffee, almost espresso type of bitterness in this one. Nice dry finish. Aftertaste, I'm getting that dark chocolate, those coffee notes. But at the same time, it's balancing really nicely with the aftertaste of the West Coast hop profile. You're getting those those citrus notes, piney notes coming through. Really nice carbonation on this one to help kind of move those flavors throughout the palate. Really nice mouthfeel. The middle of the mouth is really getting a coating of that stout qualities, those chocolate and roasted malts. But the balancing out with those hops, like I said, it's a really tight rope to walk, between a balancing act on a black IPA, and Karl Strauss really nailed it with this one. It's an easy to drink beer. I don't taste the 8% at all. It's just a nice drinking, well-balanced beer. All right, guys, so the final verdict on the Karl Strauss Boardwalk Black Rye, I gotta give this one a B+. As far as a black IPA or a black ale, West Coast black ale goes, this is one of the better ones I've had. Like I said, it's a really kind of fine balancing act to find the proper amount of stout or the proper amount of IPA to put in these beers, and sometimes they can go one way or the other. This one is balanced almost perfectly. Nice West Coast hop profile. You're getting that dry, astringent, citrusy, piney hop profile, but at the same time you're getting a really solid stout character in this one. Those nice chocolate notes, coffee notes, and they blend together without overpowering one another. They complement each other really nicely, and overall it's a really easy to drink, nice tasting beer. And as it's warming up, it's even getting more kind of flavors coming out of this one. So definitely recommend this one for you guys on the West Coast. For you guys on the East Coast, you're gonna have to trade for it. But yeah, it's getting a B+ from me. Definitely check it out. It's part of Karl's Coastal Reserve series. This is the Boardwalk Black Rye IPA, if you want to call it that. So remember, folks, with that said, remember, life is too short. Drink amazing beers. Cheers.